God. Okay, welcome to week 3, session 2. It's a double day. I did session 1 this morning and session 2 tonight. And it's 5 degrees centigrade, so it's chilly. 7-minute warm up. Low power, medium cadence 85 RPM as usual. Let's go. It is 4 degrees centigrade here. Oh, I forgot to mention it's 3 degrees centigrade here. Okay, so it's 3 degrees centigrade here. Oh gosh, this looks hard, really hard. Hi, I'm halfway through the Zwift, the 6-week FTP Builder program. So where am I? 3 weeks into the course. What's been happening? How do I feel? Have I made any gains? And are there any things I think that could be improved? Well, after 3 weeks, it dawned on me that 6 weeks is a long time to be training through a program, and if you take periodized training, well, you have mesocycles of 4 weeks, 3 weeks of building up, and then 1 week of recovery or adaptation. It's both, it's adaptation and recovery. Well, I figured that the 6-week FTP Builder program should really be 7 weeks with a recovery week in the middle. So here I am, just finishing off a recovery week and ready to go on to weeks 4 onwards. What were the first 3 weeks like? Well, there's a lot of foundation work, and there's quite a lot of work on building up cadence, high cadence pedaling. This is where I was lacking, and I knew this when back in November I said that I wanted to do some spinning, some cadence work at the beginning of 2023. So here we are, the perfect opportunity. This course, the FTP Builder program, has given me those cadence sessions. Now in the first 2 weeks, it was difficult. For a cadence of 95 RPM, I was struggling at 91, 92. And for a cadence of 100, it was the same. I was just on the bottom limit, which is 95, 96 RPM for a target of 100 RPM. I didn't get any messages saying increase the cadence, or well, I did, but not too many. I struggled, but I kept within the lower limit. So after 3 weeks, what happened? Well, for a start, the high cadence efforts were easier. I was now pedaling at the set cadence and even above, so for a 95 RPM cadence target, I was managing 99, 100, and that was okay for the program. You're allowed to do up to 5 RPM higher. And for 100 RPM targets, I was doing 105 and even at the end accelerating to 110. Additionally, I've learned to pedal with style and to spin with style. If you look at the first efforts in weeks 1 and 2, you'll see that I was pedaling with not only my legs but also with my head. These 2 videos here will show you the difference between week 1 and week 3. So even if you think that you don't need the foundation weeks in weeks 1 and 2, you should, because they are the base work, the preparation for the hard weeks. The hard weeks start halfway through week 3, and then weeks 4, 5 and 6 look like they're going to be sheer hell. That's where the big work is, that is where you'll see the gains. So when I finished after the first 3 weeks, I thought to myself I'd do a ramp test and see how I was doing. But in fact, if the hard work is at the back end of the training program, you're probably not going to see much of a gain after 3 weeks. What's happening is you're prepared for those efforts that are coming up that should see you make progress. So what have I learned after the first 3 weeks? Well, I've learned how to pedal fast without looking like a bobblehead. Secondly, I've learned how and when to deactivate erg mode for those short intense sprints. Thirdly, I've learned to concentrate and read the screen, because sometimes the messages that you get saying go full gas, and in fact the power is not quite, well, it isn't full gas, and you'll end up exceeding the power target and only getting half a star. What about the stars? I've read on forums people complaining that, well, they've gone through the program, they've seen all the stars, and they get to the last exercise, which is warm down, and Zwift saves your seance, and you don't see that last star. Well, you do. It's not in the list of steps on the table on the left of your screen. Once that last step is finished, Zwift switches to the saving screen, to the end of session screen, and there at the top near the right you see the total number of stars. So if you've got the last star, which might be 14th out of 14, it will say there if you've got all 14 stars. Routes. You're better off picking a flat route if you really want the impression of going fast. If you use a steep or mountainous route when you're doing an exercise that requires 145 watts at a cadence of 100 revs per minute, well, okay, you'll be doing that. But if you're going up Alpe d'Huez, you'll be going at about 4 kilometers an hour, and that really is a kind of weird situation. So my advice, use a flat road, Fuego Flat or something similar. You can use a hill circuit if you like, doesn't really make any difference, but just don't be surprised when all of a sudden you're crawling along and people are whizzing past you. It shouldn't matter. Some people are up in arms about it on the forums. I don't get it, what's happening? Well, just get used to it. But of course, when we get to the end of the 6-week FTP plan, plus a week's rest in the middle, then I'll be looking to go great guns, full gas, and hopefully see what's happened. So are you going to come back in 3 weeks' time and see how I did? I hope you do. See you then. So there we are, halfway through the FTP Builder course, and I've reacquired the technique for spinning, and understand more about those 10-second intense efforts, and I can see the workload building. That was the longest session today, and I think this week is the longest week of the whole 6 weeks. There you go, 14 out of 14, yes. I earned my coffee. See you on the next one. Oh God.